Well, it's Barb coming to you from my craft studio. I have a vlog today. I'm going to talk about my January reading challenge. I'm hoping the cricket running in the background isn't too loud. We'll see how it goes during playback. I participate in a few different challenges, and I just kind of track how much I read and what I read. The first book I read, oddly, was The Christmas Trip by Sandy Barker. I actually started it, I think, beyond Christmas, and I just only read a little bit every day. So I didn't finish it until after the first of the year, so it counted for January. The second one I read was The Boys by Ron Howard. This one I actually listened to. I had the audiobook, which I really like memoir ones where the author reads the book. Ron Howard and his brother Clint read the book, though there was more Ron than there was Clint, I'm going to be honest there, but it was an interesting book and kind of interesting reading or hearing how he grew up in basically on television and how that affected him. The next one I read was for a reading challenge. It was 80 Days. Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Bisland's History Making Race Around the World. I used that one I do the Book Girls Guide challenge, but I think that was for my 1880s to 1890s prompt. And the author on that one was Matthew Goodwin. My third book was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I had never seen that. One thing I'd like to do this year is books that I read that have been done into movies. I'd like to watch the movie, but I kind of looked and I couldn't find anywhere that streams that one. Because I'd like to see the movie too. That one I used for my prompt. I think it was for, told from a kid's perspective. I mean, I think it covers more years, but part of the time she is just a kid, the lead character. The Boston Girl by Anita Diamant. That one was for the Read Around the USA. The first month, January, was supposed to take place in kind of the upper northeast. So Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, or Rhode Island. Obviously, I had Massachusetts there. The Boston Girl. Then the next was The Choice by Nora Roberts. That was the final book of the Dragonheart trilogy. I got that in November, and I just hadn't gotten around. I was basically reading seasonal holiday books from the end of November through December, so I didn't get that one read till January. That usually seems to happen with me with Nora's November release. I usually have a hard time avoiding reading her books as soon as I get them. The next one I listened to this one. I got the audio version. This one I think was the only physical book I read. The rest were either ebooks or audiobooks. This one was also an audiobook. It was read by Linda Lavin. This one, I don't know who the reader was, but it's Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. That one, I believe, was for the book voyage, read around the world. The Arctic and Antarctica took place in Alaska, and they include that in their Arctic area, since I don't know if technically it is. They do say they take some liberties with the sections, or whatever you want to call them. And then the last one I read was The Seat Filler by Soraya Wilson. I think that one might have been one of my January Amazon Prime read picks. If you're a member of Prime, they have a First Reads. That's what they call it, First Reads. Prime Read is different. They have a program called First Reads that you can choose a book every month. Some months they let you choose two. I think January was a month that they let you choose 2 books, but that was one of my selections for that month. They also have a book called a thing called Prime Reading, that you borrow books. You can have out to 10 at a time. It's kind of like almost like a library lending program, except there's no due dates, which is kind of nice. I need to get busy reading some of the ones that I have checked out. I did return a couple of them. One I was going to reread, and I decided not to, so I returned it, so it wasn't taking up one of my slots. But I found this. I was trying to see if I could read who it's from. It just says Everyday Reading and Liza in the corner. So I'm not sure. I found it online. I'm not sure what the website was. And I've just been putting in the book titles that I did. I highlighted them yellow for this month. Next month I'll choose a different color and highlight. I'll probably repeat colors, but it kind of lets me see, since I'm going in stacks through them, how much I read each month at a glance. And then the Book Girls Guide have book lugs for each of the reading challenges. They have 4 this year. They have the Lifetime of Reading. One of them, I was trying to see if I could tell by looking. I think it was this one, that it's not structured this time. I think that's it. Yeah, because that one is. I was trying to tell by the guides. That one definitely is. And I think this one was. There's 2 possibilities by the guides, but I think it's this one, because last year I think it actually had the month by it. They have kids' teens. I'm trying to go in the order that they put them in on the tree ring, but you can actually do them in any order you want. It's the Book Girls Guide Lifetime of Reading. And then this one's the Book Girls Guide. This is a new challenge for them, the Read Around the U.S. This one they just kind of did the map to show what the sections were for each month, and then you put your book read down at the bottom of each month. And then half my books all selected for February, but I haven't started any of them. I started a book, but it actually isn't one for any of the specific challenges. And then the Decades Reading Challenge, which is also the Book Girls Guide. And the Book Voyage Around the World. And that's kind of how they divide up the world for their challenge. And then I also do the Book List Queens Reading Challenge. You can find these online by looking up the different things, and I just write them in there. It's kind of messy. I probably should have printed them out on with my labeler, because my writing is so bad. But so I do that one. These ones I will use books that I used for the other 4 challenges to fill them in. So that's why you see books in there, so many books in there. So there'll be duplicate ones on all the rest of these challenges. And the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. So I just think it's kind of fun to see. Now, I don't strive to finish these other ones. That most of these ones I think have like 52 prompts. 52 is my reading goal for the year, but I don't specifically choose books for these prompts for the 4 book girls guide challenges. I specifically choose books that fit those prompts. The rest of my reading I just choose, and then if they fit a prompt, it fits a prompt. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Usually early on I can make it fit a prompt. As it gets later in the year, sometimes the one it fit I already used. And then this one is the 52 Book Clubs Reading Challenge. This one's the Nerd Daily Reading Challenge. This one's Beyond the Bookends Challenge. It's just a monthly challenge. It just has a book a month. This month's thing was read a book that it's been adapted to the screen. Now mine was actually adapted a long time ago. The book was old. But you could also use one that is being adapted to the screen, like Daisy Jones and the Six. I read that one last year. It's coming to, I think, Amazon Prime as a limited series. And then I decided to go ahead and try this one because I like reading romance books. She reads romance books. And this one's just a monthly challenge too. Now that one I did try to, for one of my picks, try to fit the theme. I don't mind doing it so much with the monthly challenges. I don't like doing it with the weekly challenges. I don't even make an attempt. Sometimes with the monthly ones, I'll look and see, okay, can I find something that fits that? This one actually had a thing for your favorite books of the year, new authors, your reading goals. I didn't break my reading goals down by month. I basically kind of went as one book a week. So I wanted to read 52 books for the year. Now I read more than I needed to in January, so if I have a bad month, I'm ahead. But last year I went way over my goal. But sometimes I'll read a children's book or a short story, a book that's like a short story that isn't that long, and I still count them. This one also had an alphabet challenge in it. Was this part of? I'm trying to think of who put this section out. I'm not sure where this one came from, but it had an alphabet challenge basically to try to read a book that starts with every letter of the alphabet. Now I didn't count the word the, so I put The Boston Girl in the B's, because if you were filing, you would not file under the, so I treat this the same way. And then it had some bonus ones: a book with a number in the title, a book with a color in the title, book with a name in the title, book with an animal in the title. I don't think I had any except for the one. But and then I thought this one was kind of fun. Your 2023 reading stats. So the first one, you're supposed to go by publication year, how many books you read from 2023, 2022, 2021, and 2020, and then anything older. How many stars you rated the book, whether it was digital, audio, or physical. And I'm seeing that count is wrong. I think I just didn't write one down because I only have 7 books marked there, and I should have 8. Because I know there was at least 2 audio books. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Actually, there were 3 audio books, so I'm not sure. 3 audio books. I know there was only 1 physical book, so there must have been 4 digital. I'll have to see if I can fix that because that's wrong. And then I don't think I marked them all down here. 4, 5, 6. And what category they come from, whether it's historical fiction, a thriller, a mystery, nonfiction, fantasy, sci-fi, romance, or other. And then how long it was, either under the 100, between 100 and 200, 2 and 300, 3 and 400, 4 and 500, or more than 500. I try not to do too many more than 500 books, because if I read one of those, it's hard to read. It's hard to reach my goal. It's hard to read even the 4 books for the reading challenge if one of them is that long. But and then you can do a book battle. Choose your favorite book for January and February. They face off, and what one would it be, and kind of keep doing that until you come down to your favorite book of the year. The back does the rest. And then it had a book to screen challenge, which is kind of why I wanted to be able to do that. Write down the book and the movie and give your ratings for them. But and then it had a map challenge. Now I haven't done that one. I'd have to chart my books online in a map, because geography is not, like most of us, geography is not my strong suit. This was my 2022 reading list. This is kind of the type of chart I've used the last few years. I switched it this year just for fun. And I actually went to a second page last year. My original goal was to try to fill the page. That wasn't my official goal. It was my unofficial goal, because I didn't know if I could make that. And I ended up going into the back and filling it. There were some really short ones in there, but I count them. And a lot of times I'll have my Alexa read my books. If they're not audiobooks, I'll have her read while I'm crafting, so that I'm doing 2 things at once. So if anybody wonders how I get so much read, it's audiobooks and having her read books. Otherwise, I would not finish as many as I do. Obviously, you can't do that with a physical book. And then I have another reading challenge that I do. The Kindle, in the Kindle app, they do a challenge. I don't have an actual Kindle. I have an iPad, but I use the Kindle app to read books. They have usually a seasonal reading challenge, like, they're doing like a winter one right now, and then they'll do a spring, summer, fall challenge. And that one, my big goal is to try to hit their prompts for it, and also to try to read every day. January, I missed reading the very last day because I had a flare-up of my illness, and I was fine till right after lunch. It's like suddenly I'd had kind of chills on and off throughout the morning, but once it got after lunch, I was so cold I could not get warm. I was exhausted, so when I'd start to feel warm, I'd fall asleep. So I pretty much slept most of the afternoon, unless I woke up because I was cold. But that's all I've got to share today. I want to thank you for joining me. Like I said before, if you don't like chatty videos, skip the vlogs. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.